Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 11 years. I was 10 years old the last time my favorite team, the New York Jets, made the playoffs. Now, as always, going into every offseason, the Jets hype up their ideas. They tell us they're going to make huge moves to boost us into a greater upper echelon of franchises. But it never happens. So right now, in this video, I'm taking over for Joe Douglas. And I'm going to realistically bring the New York Jets back to prominence. So we can sim the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they don't just let you have the result. The Rams do win regardless. We're going to go ahead and choose our draft class. Now, just to reiterate, this is realistic. I'm not going to go out and go trade for Aaron Donald and Quentin Nelson and all the greatest players of all time. I don't know why that does that. But we have that right there. So we are going to go sign players the Jets could realistically get. Make moves the Jets could actually make to succeed. So with that being said, we're going to start with the staff. I think first things first, we need a more experienced coordinating position for Saleh. He's a first-year coach, so now a second-year coach. So I really want to bring in some experience and help him out. Todd Walters runs a vertical zone run, which could be very useful to what we're trying to do here. And I think that's who we're going to sign, Todd Walters. And then we're going to go ahead and sign a defensive coordinator. As well, ideally with some talent. Patrick Bailey from Baltimore, running that 3-4. I know we run a 4-3 more so around here, but that experience is really nice to have. So, first things first, we got to get Saleh to do what he needs to do. We need to get our offensive side of the ball more proper, I think, first. So we're going to spend a lot of our training points right there on Robert Saleh. Pretty much to the point where we can't really upgrade anything else. And then we're going to go ahead and spend 10 points there. So now that Saleh is going to be more of a fit for our team, a more experienced fit, not that he's not already a fit, we'll be able to make better moves, let Zach Wilson progress better. And the people we bring in should ideally be able to progress and make us a great franchise. So we can go ahead and get into our re-signing period and see who we should actually bring back on this god-awful team. Now, the Jets did win 4 games this year. There were some moments that we looked at and we were like, oh, this is flashes of something to come. But Zach Wilson never had time to throw the ball. He never really showed us that flash of, oh my goodness, we need him. Now, I know he would create some plays and he'd throw the ball down the field, but too often did he not have time to make good decisions, and I believe that impaired his ability to really shine for the Jets. So who are we going to bring back? I don't think we're going to bring back Marcus May. He's 29 years old. He wants a 4-year contract. That's a lot. Fatuski, Florenzo Fatuski, he's a solid defensive tackle. Honestly, I do think we could do better than him. But a 3-year deal, maybe at $3 million would be nice. He wants to test free agency, so we'll see what happens. Same thing with Jamie Crowder. He's heading into his 30s, and that's just not ideal. We are going to bring back Braxton Berrios on a 4-year because he's been pretty solid. He also wants to test out free agency. This is what happens when your team just doesn't really have what you need. I'm sorry to see Mike White go, but again, not really necessary for what we need to do. Getting into the important part of the season, first of all, just so everyone is fully aware of what's going on, I'm not doing the scouting myself. I am going to leave that to the computer, and then I will draft just based on what they scout and what I see. So as far as free agents, this is kind of the biggest thing we're looking at here. The Jets need to go after a big receiver, kind of spruce up our skill positions, if you will. Chris Godwin is a great choice. I don't like that Madden doesn't have these offers out. But Chris Godwin is somebody, now that Tom Brady's retired, obviously he had that ACL. Does he have an ACL tear? Am I missing? I guess he did. That's my bad. Yeah, I apologize. I should have known that. So with his ACL being torn, him being young, this is a prime candidate for the Jets to go get. He's going to be looking for a big contract. The Jets got money to spend, and we need a big receiver. We need a number one receiver. So I think this makes sense. I do think we can get him cheaper, $10 million a year. We'll give him a $7.1 million signing bonus over the next 5 years is what he's realistically going to want. So that's going to be our offer for our receiver. Our tight end position is a mess. I would love to bring in Gronkowski, but there's no way he would ever come to the Jets. I believe Zach Ertz is possible. Evan Ingram would be possible. I would really like to get David Njoku, but I don't see that happening. I'm going to go try to make a big splash here and get Evan Ingram. We are going to give him a little bit more money to give him a little bit shorter of a contract and see if that works out. I would also like to eventually draft another tight end, but we'll see. We'll also bring in Will Disley to kind of just spruce some things up, just on a 2-year, $2 million deal. As far as left tackle, obviously we're set with Mekhi Becton. We really got to hope that he can stay healthy because him being injured has been one of the biggest detriments to us. We spent a top pick on Becton. He was supposed to be the best offensive lineman in that draft, and he's been amazing when he's been on the field. He's just been injured a lot. At the guard position, obviously Vera Tucker's going to hold that down. McGovern, I'm not going to replace him with any of these people. For our guard position, I would love to bring in Austin Corbett. So we're going to. We're going to actually bring him in on a 2-year deal. We're going to give him a decent contract. That way we can really have him. The Jets are known to overpay, so I'm not going to lower that contract to kind of, it's got to be realistic to a point. Trent Brown is back up for contract. And I think we're going to also spend some money here. Is it going to be expensive? Absolutely. Is it going to be worth it? I don't know. But it would sure up. Well, no, not with. Nope, never mind. He's a little too expensive. So Franklin Myers is solid. Quinnen Williams is solid. I would really like to get Fatuski back. But, sometimes you got to swap some things out. So we're going to go with Derek and Yachty in the offseason. And hopefully that'll really help us out. Carl Lawson should be coming back. That's going to be great for us as well. We still got C.J. Mosley. I would really like to try to trade out of that contract. It's going to be difficult, but it needs to be done. It definitely needs to be done. To replace him, none of these guys really stick out to me. I'll bring in Shaquem Griffin on a 2-year deal for like 1.6 with a $1.6 million signing bonus. That way we can get some depth in there. I want some youth for sure is very important. If we're going to spend our money anywhere this offseason, if Rashaan Evans does become available, this would be the guy that we need to go after, because we need to get a young, really solid middle linebacker. And if we can get him, that would be great. Leighton probably isn't going anywhere. I mean, honestly, the issue is a lot of these guys might not be going anywhere. Let me see the likelihood of us getting Rashaan Evans. Rashaan Evans. Actually, Bleacher Report says the Titans might let him walk. So that actually gives us somebody we can go make a big splash and really beef up our front seven, because we need to desperately. Joe Schobert would be nice, just to give us some depth as well. I would like to just sign him on a 1-year deal. We're going to have to pay him more, obviously. But we need a nice second middle linebacker. I'm not thrilled about signing this contract, but I do see it being a pretty big possibility that Anthony Barr finally comes to New York and leaves Minnesota. We'll give him a pretty solid payday to come here. I would think the Jets would give him a multiple-year deal. So we're going to go ahead and bring Anthony Barr to the team. Now we have Bryce Hall. Other than that, this is pretty much destroyed. Stephen Gilmore is walking. Would I rather go get Dante Jackson or somebody? Of course. But if Stephen Gilmore is going to end up leaving, I think that's a pick that we could go after. So I don't know that he leaves Carolina, but with Carolina rebuilding, him probably still wanting to go get another ring, I don't know that the Jets become a realistic option. Casey Hayward could be somebody we bring in, but I don't know about us signing him for this video. He could leave as well. But I just don't know, man. We're going to get Dante Jackson. We're going to bring him in on a 5-year deal for $5.5 million. Just to really give us a second guy. And then we're going to have to sign somebody else. I would like to honestly sign somebody who can start behind. We'll bring back Brian Poole. 2 years, $3 million. That should help us out quite a bit. And no one's really given Sidney Jones great contract money, so let's give him 3 years, $2.1 million. See if we can't get him for that. So that should stir up our secondary quite a bit. I'm going to let Ashton Davis kind of progress. I'm not going to go out and make a big signing for like Marcus Williams. Kansas City probably, someone else is going to get him. Man, could we get Jabril Peppers? I just got to make sure. Yeah, he's not coming back. I mean, it would be a tough swing to bring the guy. But again, it looks like off a complete ACL tear, we could probably just overpay for him. And being that this is Madden, I'm not going to give him quite that much. I'm going to give him 3.5. But, you know, we know he's going to progress and be okay. So that's good for us. We need to bring in a kicker. What about Zane Gonzalez? You think we can get him? Is Josh Lambo falling off a cliff? Let's bring in Josh Lambo on a 1-year deal. Oh, I have no money. I'm broke. That's a problem. That is a problem. Would you even consider this contract? He wants $2 million. I gotta get someone a little cheaper. Can I get Dustin Hopkins maybe? Let's get Dustin Hopkins. Yeah, he likes the contract. So that gives us a kicker. And man, it brings us in ideally a lot of good pieces. We're far from a great team, but there's still trades that we can make. There's still a lot of things we can do. Did anyone decline our contracts? Derek and Yachty didn't come, which is okay. Let's go ahead and get into some trading, man. So obviously we aren't trading a quarterback. I'm not trading Michael Carter. I would like to develop him. Oh, we didn't sign the receiver yet, which is interesting. We're going to keep Corey Davis still. I don't see him going anywhere. I'm going to try to get rid of George Fant. That is going to try to happen. And maybe Sheldon Rankins could go too. That's about where we're at as far as people who could go. Would the Chargers really like a tackle? They got Slater and they got Blaga. They don't need Fant in the slightest. I could see the Dolphins wanting George Fant though. And Sheldon Rankins. So with that being said, I don't know if they really have many players that we want. Like, they're not going to give me Geikie for that. For a good tackle and a good defense, for 2 good tackles, obviously one offensive, one defensive. I could see us, Devon Holland is a tough swing. If we brought in Andrew, it would give us an opportunity to get off of CJ Mosley. But what if we tried to get there first? Get a good trade in there and give up a third with it. That's a good trade. So we gave up a good 2 good tackles and a 3rd rounder for their first, which is a lot, I'm well aware, and it puts us in a position to have to make more moves. But at this point, that trade is going to free up a little bit of cap space. We still got Godwin. We still got Dante Hopkins. It looks like Shaquem Griffin has got a lot better contracts. So we are probably going to hop out of that because we got CJ. Although I'd really like the depth, I do understand that. We're not going to get it there. So I think that's probably our full offseason, honestly. I don't really know what else we can get in free agency that's realistic. And we can definitely go sign another dude off an ACL tear. I could see Salah being about it, They love football. They just love football. 4-year deal. We're just going to sign him long term because we know we want him. And I hope we bring in a running back to help out with Michael Carter this year. Like, if we could bring Melvin Gordon in on... He wants 4 years, and we're not signing him to that. If we could bring Raheem in, he got a kneecap injury. We're not going to sign him. Maybe just somebody to sit behind him at least, who's a little bit better. Let's bring in J.D. McKissic on a 1-year deal just to get a receiving back. And that's about it, man. That's what we're signing. So let's make sure we get our free agents, and then we'll go to the draft, and then we might make one more trade. We didn't get J.D. McKissic, which stinks, but we got everybody else. So we're probably just going to try to draft somebody. It's going to be tough, man. The Jets are going to take a few years to rebuild. But if we can flip to like an 8-8 season and at least give Zach Wilson the opportunity to throw the ball, develop. Michael Carter can run a little bit and develop and just actually develop a team, we'll be in a lot better position. A lot of people are saying we're going to go out and we're going to get 2 defensive linemen with our 2 first-round picks. And that might be true. However, oh, wow, that's a great pick. Derek Stingley and Spencer Rattler is going to go 3rd to the Texans. So, where we're at, being that we didn't re-sign Marcus May, Kyle Hamilton is not a bad idea. B block shed, A hit power, B tackle. Now I know this draft class is a little bit old. It's just because I've had issues with the Madden server creator share thing. So bear with me a little bit with that. Another big one would be Evan Neal, and I think that's going to be our realistic take here because we traded George Fant and we got to replace him. I would like to replace Marcus May too, yeah, but knowing the Jets, knowing Robert Saleh, knowing that the game is won up front, we're going to take Evan Neal and bring him in to hopefully be able to solidify a really solid offensive line. The 5th pick is going to be the safety that we wanted, probably to replace Jabril Peppers that we took, actually, which I forgot about. I apologize. Sam Howell goes, and then another defensive lineman, followed by another defensive lineman, followed by a middle linebacker. So where that leaves us is Drake Jackson, first of all. B awareness, B finesse, B tackle, not great with injuries. He's got great acceleration, great speed, only decent strength, which worries me though. But, you know, I could see a lot of people are projecting we're going to get a DN. But at the same time, I could see us hiding it. I mean, you know, who really knows who's telling what right now in the NFL? This guy hits hard, he tackles well, he covers okay. If he's physically inclined, he's got elite acceleration, great change of direction, elite jumping, good speed. We're going to bring in Khair Alam, man, and I know his dev isn't what we want it to be, but we need to continue to develop that secondary, and I think he could be a very nice part of that. Later in the draft, man, still in the first round, it was a good pick that we got. I wouldn't mind getting another offensive one. I could still see us getting a running back, though. Um, he's got really good pass block. He catches the ball well. That is somebody I could definitely see us getting. Isaiah Spiller is definitely on that list. Kenyon Green, lead block, injury, impact block. I don't see us getting 2 offensive linemen. I don't. Or 2 corners. We have too many holes to fill. And like I said, I want to give Ashton Davis a shot. So I'm thinking Isaiah Spiller, as long as he's physically good enough. He's got good strength, solid speed, great jumping. I mean, yeah. Is he the best option? There's CJ Verdell, who's slower. So we're going to take Isaiah Spiller. That's the most realistic pick right there for us, for sure. And the reason is he can catch the ball and he can block. So he's going to complement Michael Carter very well. And he's going to give us 2 running backs to play very well off each other, as well as give us some competition there, which we need desperately. We got a lot of picks, man. This is a great time to really make the Jets something better than what we've been for the last 10 years. So this is a good time. I could see us taking somebody on the line. A, power moves. B, awareness. Good acceleration, great agility, solid speed, decent strength. Solid speed, decent strength worries me a lot. We did get rid of a defensive tackle. This guy is B, awareness, B, block, shed, C, pursuit, C, play rec. He's got great speed, great agility, great acceleration. So if he can't stand, if we find out he can't really stand in the middle, we can move him outside. So I do like that pick. His strength isn't all that, but I think he might end up outside. It could be very realistic. The Giants are going to take Jordan Davis. I didn't even know he was still available. That's a good pick. Cade Mays. B, awareness, A, lead block, B, pass block, A, run block, finesse. In elite acceleration, elite agility, elite change of direction, great strength. Yeah, we're drafting Cade Mays. That's a no-brainer. That's a great pick. That's a diamond in the rough right there for our second round. Now we don't have anything all the way to the 4th because we did have to trade our 3rd for that first round pick, which is okay. So to get into the later rounds, this is where Bill Belichick made his career, is making sure his later rounds were good. And we need to do the same. First of all, wide receiver Drake London is 6'5", 210 pounds. He's got really great kick return and good catching. His route running and his injury is terrible. He's only got solid speed. He's not as great as he looks at on paper. Ty Fogel, that's an interesting name. He can run a little bit. His carrying's lackluster. He's okay. Not really someone we're going out of our way to get. I do want to look at Jalen Green. He's got some decent press and no zone coverage. No tackle, no hit power. Yeah, no good. We don't got a ton of time on the clock, so we do got to be somewhat proficient. This guy can catch. His man coverage is rough. His play rec is rough, but he's got solid press and stamina. And elite acceleration. So right now, Avery Young is our top guy to look at. We probably have time to look at one more. I want to look at Henry 220. He can't tackle. I don't got to look at anything else. He can't tackle. So as time runs down, we're going to take Avery Young. It said the draft clock expired, which makes no sense. 89 speed, 95 excel, 87 change of direction. I mean, his physical attributes are really good, so we just got to hope our coaching staff can develop him into a great player, because he's coming in with the ability to stand with the big boys, but he's probably not smart enough. And at this point, I'll take that over the opposite. So I wouldn't mind the center right here. He doesn't have the greatest awareness. He's got solid run block, good injury, good speed, but he's got marginal strength. And I can't have marginal strength, even at the center position where I find it less important in how I build my team. I wouldn't mind bringing in some depth here either. He's got some decent block shedding, some decent finesse, and he's got some decent impact block. Great jumping, great speed. Yeah, let's bring him in. I'm going to mess this name up. DeMarvion Overshawn. Decent. These are, our 4th round picks. 5th round. Man, the 5th round. Now we're playing this obviously till we get a Super Bowl. It's a simulation, so I won't be playing myself, but I will be doing the general manager part. And we will watch, last drives and things amongst that nature. Very similar to kind of how Click Productions does his simulations. However, we're doing rebuilds, at least in this case scenario right now. So shout out to Click Productions. Definitely go check him out. He's amazing. Kyler Gordon, man. You got C catching. You're not great at man coverage. You got A block shedding. I like elite. You're elite somewhere. Your speed's not great, though. So, although you might be elite in kick return attribute-wise, I don't know that you're elite there actually playing. This guy's got decent catching, decent hit power, solid injury, decent press. That's solid. No, he's too slow. He's not going to keep up. Well, how big is he, though? Nah, he's only 100. Yeah, he's not going to make it. The Auburn boy, Roger. I'm probably going to... I'm not going to have time to get to my dude here. Kyler Gordon. Nah, see, I'm going to have to take something. Damn, I don't know what we just got. Tyler Vrabel. I'm not mad at that pick. Coach Vrabel's kid will at least be someone good in the locker room. Back to what we're doing. I would like to find somebody better still. Zay Flowers, Boston College. All right. 6'6", 240. Great strength, good speed, great acceleration. Doesn't really get injured, has decent stamina, can't block. Let's see. I don't know. These are our late round picks. We're just kind of hoping to find a diamond in the rough. So that's the end of our draft, man. That's what we did. Is our off-season quite done? Probably not yet, but potentially. Looking at our team, we got Evan Neal, a new right tackle. Khair Alam, a new cornerback. CJ Spiller, a monster running back. You can see that overalls right here. Neal will be able to step in and play. Alam's going to play about where I wanted him to. Spiller's going to be right behind Carter, that two-headed punch that we're hopefully going to develop over some time. Winfrey, our DT's got some ways to go, which is interesting, but he's at least decent enough that he can play. Mays can play, and everyone else, hopefully they can develop by the end of the season, because if not, then, well, they got time to develop. They're not playing for a while, so let's go ahead and finish up our offseason. I do like to make a couple more trades just, as we've rounded out our team. We need to make sure all our holes are filled, that we're as solid of a team as we can be. At receiver, we need another receiver. We didn't get Godwin. Oh, wait, no, we do have Godwin. He's just injured, I think. But I would like another receiver regardless, so I'm going to trade Connor McGovern, and I'm going to move one of these two dudes to center. I don't know who it's going to be, but that's the plan. I might sweeten it up with like Ronald Blair. And then if I can get rid of C.J. Mosley, that's cool, man. I'm not against it. But I don't think many people are going to have the money for both of these dudes. Anyone even have the money? I doubt it. The Patriots do, but he don't want them. I could get it to the Raiders. I just want to see if anyone's got enough for both of them. I can maybe pull enough money off the Seahawks. But let's just trade them separately. Who's really interested in McGovern? I'm not going to be able to take $9 million off your hands. I'm not taking that money off your hands. So that means we're going to work more so. Try to get Tyler Boyd. I feel like that's possible. Perfect. That's a good straight up trade for both teams. I don't know how often centers get traded for receivers, but that's something that we needed to get done. So we bring in Tyler Boyd, which is big. I still want to develop Elijah Moore, but he's going to have to be our fourth receiver. And then, yeah, I would like to get rid of C.J. Mosley. I don't think anyone right now, at least in the preseason, is going to be taking on his $17 million contract. We can see if he has a few big games, and maybe in the middle of the year, we can do something with him. So we got Spiller, we got Carter. Spiller's hidden, so we are going to let him start probably this year. Not yet, but eventually. Cade Mays. Whoever has higher awareness is really going to be the one. He's not going to be able to play. Corbett is a 75 overall center. He is pretty solid there, actually. I don't know why they don't have him starting at right guard. We'll fix that ourselves. Godwin's out for a bit. Yeah, C.J. Mosley, Anthony Barr, Rashaan Evans, Joe Schobert. Carl Lawson is somehow still injured, but he'll be back. And then we'll have Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, Winfrey's going to have to develop, and Franklin Myers. But we are going to change into a 3-4. That's why we brought in that other dude, the 3-4 disguise. You like the 4. It says this playbook includes the 4-4 formation. It doesn't even have it. So I believe Baltimore does, though. So we're going to have the 3-4 and the 4-4. And then on offense, man, we're switching to a vertical zone run. You like to run I form and shotgun. I mean, you're from San Francisco, so a lot of it probably comes from Kyle Shanahan. Clearly, it's almost identical. Actually, that's messed up because that just means Madden really just gave him Kyle Shanahan's playbooks, probably. Um, I honestly, let's see. Jets most used offensive formation 2021. Let's see. Gangrene Nation posted this. That's September 28th, 2020. I need a little more recent article. Offensive formation statistics 2021. Let's see. Let's just go to their website. I can't find that, man. What scheme do the Jets run offense? And we have Mike LaFleur in real life. We run a lot of RPO and formations. So isn't that more spread? Am I crazy? Yeah, we're going to run Cliff Kingsbury, dude, because we run a very spread kind of offense. So that's going to be our new scheme this year. Is going to be Arizona on offense because we run a very spread offense. And we're going to bring in that 3-4-4-4 scheme because we brought in that veteran defensive coordinator. So going into the 2022 New York Jets season, our offensive line is as follows. Well, Cade Mays is going to be our right guard. But Mekhi Becton at left tackle, Elijah Vera Tucker at left guard, Austin Corbett is going to transition into our center. Then we are going to have Cade Mays at right guard and Evan Neal at right tackle, bringing in two more offensive linemen and really just solidifying it. Because remember, we did trade George Fant in the offseason. Starting at quarterback, obviously we have Zach Wilson. Starting at halfback, we have Michael Carter and Isaiah Spiller. That's going to be a battle throughout the year. Whoever can do better is going to see more time. At receiver, once Godwin's back, we're going to have Chris Godwin, Tyler Boyd, Corey Davis, and Elijah Moore, and then Denzel Mims. Tight end, we brought in Evan Ingram and Will Disley, and fullback, we brought in Alec Ingold. Defense, we have Ashton Davis. Hopefully he will develop into something special. We're still waiting on Jabril Peppers for a few weeks to get back from his ACL injury. and he will start at strong safety. At cornerback, to round out our secondary, we brought in Dante Jackson to go along with Bryce Hall. We brought back Brian Poole, and we brought in Sidney Jones, who was getting absolutely no love in free agency. We also drafted Khair Alam, the 74-year overall, is going to be our fifth cornerback, really just trying to develop and become something very good for us in the future, as we no longer will have Brian Poole and Sidney Jones, I'm sure, going forward. Our front seven is as follows. At defensive tackle, the superstar from Alabama, Quinnen Williams, backed up by our new rookie, Perrion Winfrey. Got a while to go, but it's a whole season for him to develop. We also have Bryce Huff right now at right end, waiting on Carl Lawson to come back, and John Franklin Myers. A very solid front defensive line. To round out the front seven, we got C.J. Mosley still at left outside linebacker. I don't think it's realistic for us to get off of his contract. We brought in Rashaan Evans, who is most likely leaving, which is good news for us. Joe Schobert wasn't getting much love, so we brought in him to back him up in our new 3-4-4-4 scheme. And finally, Anthony Barr is making his way to New York City. That's along with Dustin Hopkins and Brandon Mann on the special teams, and we're going to have Isaiah Spiller kick returning, I think, and depending on his speed, Khair Alam doing punt returns. So let's go ahead and kick off this season, man. Let's make sure everything is good to go. I only need to make one adjustment here. I didn't mean to click that button. I apologize. We need to go ahead and make sure Cade Mays is actually starting at right guard, because why he's not, I'm not sure. Because our center is definitely Austin Corbett. So we're going to go ahead and sim through the preseason, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm thinking we're going to split this into parts, most likely, because otherwise this rebuild is going to be like 5 or 6 hours. So that'll be the off season, and this next part we'll do a very in-depth dive into the 2022 season, man. We'll watch some games. We'll look around the league. You know, it'll be very in-depth. Just take it nice and slow, nice and easy, and have a good time. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, man.